While the palace was boiling with CCTV drama and snake investigations, Queen Naomi was on a mission of life and death. This is the story of Mrs. Ronke Osita, a woman who was married to a noble Igbo man but lost everything when he passed away. Chased into the streets by her in-laws and left partially blind, her world collapsed when her only daughter was hit by a car. But Queen Naomi heard her cry, and at 2 a.m. she snuck out to deliver a 6 million naira miracle. Crown Gist is not like those other bloggers who stutter talk and mumble jumble through their videos. You know the ones, the speech stylers and vocal stumblers who spend 10 minutes saying because they are too scared or too confused to tell the real truth. We don't do that vocal fumbling or tongue tripping here. We are direct, we are unfiltered, and we go straight to the point. While they are busy vocal wavering, Crown Gist is giving you the golden truth. Follow us ASAP. My Crown Gist friends and families, before we talk about the Queen's daring escape, we have to talk about the woman who needed a miracle. Mrs. Ronke Osita was once a happy wife married to an Igbo man who loved her dearly. But when death took her husband, the people who were supposed to protect her became her worst enemies. Because Mrs. Ronke is partially blind, her in-laws thought she was an easy target. Reports say that immediately after the funeral, they threw her and her young daughter out of their home, claiming she had no right to her husband's property. Imagine a woman who cannot see clearly wandering the streets with a small child with nowhere to lay her head. But the tragedy reached a breaking point just weeks ago. While trying to cross the road, Mrs. Ronke's daughter, the one who serves as her mother's eyes, was hit by a speeding car. The doctors said she needed an emergency surgery to save her life and her ability to walk. The cost? 6 million naira. For a widow living on streets, that 6 million might as well have been 6 billion. But my Crown Gist friends and families, mercy was on the way. Queen Naomi heard about Mrs. Ronke's plight. On Christmas night, while the snake camp was busy plotting, the Queen was busy planning an escape. She knew she was being watched. She knew the palace spies were at her gate. So she did the unthinkable. She snuck out secretly through his side entrance, wearing a simple disguise so no one would recognize her. She jumped into a plain, unmarked car, no sirens, no royal guards, just a heart full of love. As she drove toward the hospital, her security team noticed something chilling. A mystery car was following them, tracing their every turn. The suspense was so thick you could feel it. Was it a spy sent to block her? Was it someone from the snake camp trying to stop the miracle? Despite the danger, Naomi reached the hospital at 2:30 a.m. She walked into the ward and found Mrs. Ronke Osita weeping by her daughter's bedside. In that quiet room, the Queen of the people made good on her promise. She handed over an envelope containing the 6 million naira for the surgery. She held the blind widow's hand and told her, "You are not alone. God has seen your tears." The joy in that room was enough to light up the whole city. But as the Queen stepped out to head to the next 99 mothers on her list, the mystery car that had been tracing her pulled up to the hospital entrance. The door opened, and a person stepping out was about to blow the whole secret wide open. My Crown Gist friends and families, remember where we left off? Queen Naomi had just handed the 6 million naira to Mrs. Ronke Osita. Mrs. Ronke, the partially blind widow who was chased away by her in-laws, was holding the Queen's hand and crying tears of pure relief. Her daughter's surgery was finally paid for. But the real drama was happening outside the hospital doors. As Queen Naomi stepped out into the cool Christmas morning air, the mystery car that had been chasing her pulled forward. Her security team immediately formed a wall around her. They were ready for anything. The snake camp had tried to ruin her reputation for over a year, and they feared this was the final trap. But as the window of the mystery car wound down, the security team froze. It wasn't a palace spy. It wasn't a hired dog. It was a young journalist who had been tipped off that the queen was sneaking out for a secret meeting. He had followed her hoping to find a scandal, maybe a secret boyfriend or a hidden palace plot. But instead, through his long-range lens, he had witnessed something that moved him to tears. He had seen the queen of the people sitting on a hospital chair, comforting a blind widow and giving away millions in total silence. He stepped out of the car, dropped his camera, and bowed. He told the queen, "I came to expose a scandal, but I found a saint." Queen Naomi didn't even ask him to delete the photos. With that huge authority she carries, she simply looked at him and said, "If you must tell a story, tell the story of the 100 mothers who are still waiting for their Christmas." And just like that, the mission continued. From 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., the queen moved like a ghost through the city. She visited the homes of 99 other struggling mothers. She visited the mothers of the children lost in the Ibadan Star Bid of 2024. She visited widows who had been forgotten by the system. At every house, she left a miracle envelope and a bag of food. By the time the sun started to rise on Christmas Day 2025, 100 mothers who went to bed crying had woken up with the means to start a new life. While the palace was still sleeping, dreaming of power and politics, Queen Naomi had already finished the greatest mission of the year. She had promised Mrs. Ronke Osita'S that she would be her strength, and she kept that promise. She proved that even if you are partially blind, even if your family chases you away, even if the snake camp tries to bite you, when a true queen stands for you, the world must listen. The atmosphere in the palace on Boxing Day was like a war zone. The snake camp was furious. They couldn't understand how a woman they've tried to finish with the Ibadan tragedy of 2024 was now being celebrated as a saint in 2026. They released a palace memo allegedly suggesting that the 6 million naira used for Mrs. Ronke Osita'S daughter was unaccounted for from the royal treasury. They wanted to turn her act of mercy into a crime of theft. They wanted to send her back to custody. But Queen Naomi was 10 steps ahead. She didn't argue, she didn't fight, she simply invited the same journalist who had chased her to the hospital, the one who saw the miracle with his own eyes. In a live broadcast that reached millions, she presented the receipts of her own personal businesses and the donations from international partners who believe in her ministry. She proved that the palace didn't give her a dime for her mission. But the most emotional moment happened when Mrs. Ronke Osita'S herself was brought onto the screen. Though she is partially blind, her voice was as clear as a bell. She told the world, "The palace did not find me. The elders did not find me. My husband's family threw me out. But the queen snuck out in the dark to find me. She saved my daughter when the world said she would die." At that moment, the snake camp was completely silenced. The fake document they were preparing to release against her was burnt by the fire of the truth. Even the ooni, the great lion himself, reportedly sent a message saying, "A crown is not just worn on the head, it is worn in the heart. Naomi has shown us where the true throne is." As we speak, Mrs. Ronke's daughter is in recovery and the other 99 mothers are starting small businesses with the capital the queen gave them. While the mystery car that tried to trace her on evil ended up being the witness that brought her glory. Queen Naomi has proven that you can sneak out in the dark, you can be followed by enemies, and you can be lied against by the powerful, but as long as you are standing with the widows and the orphans, no snake can ever bite your destiny. Honestly, may God continue to bless this woman. Amen.